Sweet. I'm in credit card debt right now.
Cool. Okay.
Let's put a
How
mic
do I
on
get out
him.
of that?
Off the bat, you have a job, I'm assuming, and all that sort of stuff, or no?
Not really, no.
Okay. Number one, got to do that. Get the income there. But when it comes to paying off your debts, you want to take your balance and times it by your APR and figure out which credit card or which debt you're paying the most interest to every year, or broken down in every month. You're going to make the minimum payments on everything except for that one, and just attack that one. That one's called the avalanche method. So you
Sorry,
can.
I don't know why they're laughing.
Hey, it's okay. We're getting help. But that way you'll pay the least amount of interest over time. But if your brain doesn't work that way,
So just keep making minimum payments?
no. So figure out the one that has the highest amount of interest. Take your APR and multiply it by your balances on every single piece of debt you have. Whichever one is the most interest you're paying per
that one
year,
first?
pay the most towards that one and the minimums towards everything else until you pay that off, and then you move it. That's called the avalanche method. There's also a snowball method, and it depends on how your brain works. Snowball method is you pay off the smallest one. They just messing with you or what?
Yes, really.
Dang.
Want to go right there?
Sure, let's get out of here. This guy was so humble and displayed some serious wisdom in allowing me to walk him through a plan to get his debt figured out. He did this while his friends were messing with him the entire time. Friends clowning on you, man.
Yeah.
All right, so the other one though is called the snowball method. It doesn't even matter what their APRs are or anything like that. Line them up by your biggest debt to your minimum or your lowest debt, and then pay the most towards that minimum debt until it's gone. So pay minimums on everything except for the smallest until it's paid off. Then you roll that payment into the next smallest, and you keep going until they're all paid off. But it also comes back to discipline. You gotta stop using your credit cards right now. That's number one thing. And then only use them when you're gonna pay them off at the end of the month. Otherwise, never use your credit card. It's just, people wind up with like $15,000 in debt and have no idea how they got there.
Yeah.
Yeah. What other questions you got?
Honestly, just that.
All right, debt.
Yeah.
Grind. So what type of work do you want to do?
I mean, like I resell on the side. It's not
Okay.
like I don't get paid like per hour. It's kind of just like a small business type, but like
Yeah.
not really a business. So I'm just making like it's like a hustle. I'm just making money, just reselling stuff. So
I like that.
I do have like some income coming in. It's not like I'm just like still just racking up the credit card, but yeah, I just found myself in some debt.
All right. Keep the grind going, right? And at this point, once you have accrued debt, it comes down to sacrifice and having a plan to just attack it and pay it off.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Good to meet you, man.
You just asked me credit card questions today.
What you got?
Facts, wait.
All right.
You literally did ask us credit card questions today.
All right. So number one, don't do it.
Yeah, my parents were pissed I got one. Yeah, because I told my parents, I was like, I want to get one just so I know, like, in case if I do, like, my bill didn't hit or paycheck wasn't enough. I got one. My parents were pretty pissed, like, immediately.
Yeah.
And so I told them, I was like, I'm just going to use it for gas and groceries and stuff. And I had a couple of buddies, like, don't go over, like, 30%. Only pay, like, because my bill was, like, $1,000. I get, like, a credit $1,000.
Yeah.
And I only spend 300 of it.
Okay.
So, but that was about it. I mean,
All right.
I don't know, like,
You have the right principles though.
Yeah.
Only put the stuff you're going to pay off at the end of the month.
yeah,
The
use
one
it
thing,
like a debit card.
correct. The one way I challenge you though is you should never look at it as if I don't have enough, I'll just use my credit card.
Yeah,
Before you get to that, you should have an emergency fund.
yeah,
Figure out, do your budget first, figure out how much you're spending every month and every year, and then get an emergency fund you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
I like 12 months of an emergency fund, which covers 12 months of basic living expenses. Some people feel more comfortable at 3, 6, some people 2 years, whatever it is. That way, if your paycheck doesn't come up right, you're pulling out of funds set aside for that emergency, as opposed to a credit card, which now you're gonna pay interest on,
Yeah.
or doing
it's
something
like
else.
the $35 a month. That's just paying for the credit card.
Wait, when you say 35 bucks a month, what do you mean?
Like, I got this thing. It said I only have to pay $35.
Oh, yeah, that's how they get you to pay forever. They want you, like, they're happy to keep floating you credit, because this is the other messed up part. You'll be making that 35 minimum payment every month, and they'll go, hey, guess what? Now you can do 2,000. And you're like, oh, cool.
$40. $50.
Correct, 40 bucks. And you're like, that's not really that much. But your balance keeps creeping up. So pay it off.
Yeah.
Every month, 0. Zero. Never carry a balance. That'll keep bumping you up, shows good credit. You'll keep establishing it, and then
Or even just use it and pay it off immediately.
There's
It's like go get gas, $30, and then put the money right from my card right into there, pay it back right off.
I don't know there are like background things that if you pay it off too fast, it doesn't actually positively affect your credit. So float it for like 2 weeks.
Purpose. Yeah.
Correct, yeah, float it for like 2 weeks so that it can actually be established and shown on your credit that, okay, it hit, you owe it, and I paid it, as opposed to just boom, boom. You might be fine doing that, but I think you have to carry it for a little bit before it really counts. All right.
I think that's...
Honestly, what I kind of did, I was like, all right, I'll just, like, I didn't really have the money. I just, like, use a credit card and be like, oh, I'll just pay it back in like a week. And then, like hoping I just make money, like, selling some stuff. Then I just don't end up selling anything. I just have that, like, and it just keeps, it's like a snowball effect. Going down.
Debt is the biggest trap you can possibly get into because it's so easy. Oh, I can just get this right now. I can just get this phone. I can just get these shoes, like whatever it is, like right now. I don't have to wait. But then without even thinking about it, you paid $200 or $500 for that thing, but over time, now you ended up paying $300 for that $200 thing or $700 for that $500 thing because of interest. You just let it go over time, and then you keep stacking it, and it just becomes a bad thing. In your mind, every month, zero balance.
Yeah.
Just zero it out, and you'll be in a much better situation than most of the people walking up and down the road today.
How do I make a monthly budget for myself?
That's probably the most important question that anybody could ask. You could do it through Excel. I think Rocket has some sort of thing, but you really just want to write down every expense that you have down to the penny and figure it out. And you won't be able to finish your budget in 1 month. It'll be something that takes you probably 3-6 months because this random thing will pop up that you buy, or, oh, I totally forgot about that expense. That way you can actually figure out how much you have per month, compare it to your income. Do you have a surplus or a deficit? If you have a deficit, you make changes. If you have a surplus, you begin investing and saving towards whatever goals you set for that money. But step number one is making sure you have a surplus.
How do I build credit if I've never had a credit card?
So the best way is go to, like, do you have a banking relationship?
Yeah.
So a lot of the time, if you have an established banking relationship, they'll give you something, even if it's like $500. And then just, if you do this, please, every month, pay it off. Only put things on it that you were planning to pay off that month anyway, credit card or gas or internet or whatever it is.
And it was at this point we determined we had to mute the audio. There was a disagreement that turned more sour as time went on. Needless to say, I'd like this video to be monetized, so we're gonna have to keep their colorful language out of the video. Maybe I'll upload this part to Patreon. Who knows? You can tell by the expression on our faces how rough it was getting. Yikes. Anyway,
back to it. So go to your, like, whatever bank you have in a relationship with. You can set up a credit card with them generally. It might be small. And then whatever you plan to pay off by the end of the month, just do that. Like, think in your mind, once you get this credit card, if I can't pay for this cash, I can't afford it.
Yeah.
So it does not go on the credit card and all that sort of stuff. You can also go to, like, I think creditcard.com or creditcards.com and put your information, see which one will give you the best rate or has the best reward system, things like that. But your local bank is probably going to be the easiest way for you to get a credit card.
That's good information. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks guys for stopping. I appreciate it. I'm a fiduciary. Yeah. I worked at Vanguard for over 13 years, and I quit my job to give free advice to anybody who needs it. So,
would you say to someone with a moderate income with maybe some type of leverage they need to get standard home ownership?
So it's like a multi-step process, but figure out your budget because you need to know your debt to income ratio. Make sure your debt is as low as possible. Build up the reserves as much as you can. Get an emergency fund, but then start putting your money towards your goal of a down payment, right? So it could be a high yield savings account. How many years out do you want to buy?
Maybe 5 years.
Okay, so that's kind of at a weird time frame for investing, because right, if you throw it into stocks, you might get some more growth, but you could also see a downturn in the stock market, and then that money's not there when you need it. So you might be looking at high yield savings accounts or money market funds that are paying in like the 4 to 5% range, and just keep stacking cash towards that goal so you can get the down payment money for your house.
Do you think a high yield savings account would be enough to keep up with the formation of the housing market?
Generally, right now, no. There's really going to be no guaranteed investment. The reason the high yield savings account is good is because it's a guarantee, or as close to a guarantee as you can get. Whereas if you try to invest in something that'll keep up, it'd be like stock market. But again, what if we run in, you want to buy that house in 2029, but in 2028 we have a 08 type downturn. Now you're like, okay, and you got to wait. Well, okay, bad example. March of 2020 example, when stocks went down because of COVID. Housing was still going up, even though the stock markets went down, right?
Twice the money supply.
Yes, exactly. So the inflation goes, but the stock market tanked there in March, even though it did shoot back up. The main problem with the investing is if you need that money at a specific time and there's a market downturn, then you got to wait for it to come back. And a lot of people sell out at the bottom, which is bad also. So you just want to, I like the high yield savings or a money market, not because it'll necessarily outpace these things, but because the money is there and it's safe. And you're earning a decent return on it.
I mean, if you think that'll get someone to a median-sized home, it could work. On
over
a
time,
single
yes.
income, that could be done.
Yeah, I did it. We're a single family household. My wife's a stay-at-home mom. So you just save, cut back in your normal life, throw all that stuff, and then you eventually get there. But I mean, just to be straight with you, the housing market's different now than it has been in our parents' life, our grandparents' life, right? We're in different circumstances.
So even when the Fed's cutting rates and the rates are still going up, do you think that people still have a normal chance of getting a home, or do you think it's going to get harder as they start?
So if they're going to drop interest rates again, well, it's tough because when they raised interest rates before, we didn't see prices go down like we should have.
No, we did.
So if interest rates go down, we'll probably see prices go up. So I think it will be harder until something else economically breaks. I don't know exactly what that is, but
For like a rapture in the housing market, just don't want a single family home.
something like that. Or, I mean, I don't know how blunt to be about this, right? But if they end up deporting millions and millions of people, you'd see a housing market crash most likely because there's a bunch of empty homes all of a sudden, right? I'm not saying I hope for that, but one of these random things that seem out of the realm of possibility actually happening, then that could work. A normalization of wages and growth, less government spending, right? That's the biggest inflationary problem we have is government spending. Yeah. Oh, I mean, it definitely is. That's guaranteed.
A lot of jobs.
Yeah. But it's a guaranteed way to devalue the money supply is through government spending.
Yeah.
So something has to break there. Otherwise,
That's just wild.
yeah.
I mean, they're going to figure it out.
Hopefully.
Or not figure it out.
Yes.
You
Hopefully.
can bet on not figuring it out.
We're in trouble now. It's either going to be better later, or we're going to be in a lot more trouble. So I'm hoping for the good. I'm a positive outlook. Yeah, I'm an optimist.
Oh, okay,
So.
that's good. I mean, if you're walking on Mill and ask people if they want a rose or financial advice, there has to be something good in their heart there. For sure.
I just want to help people, man.
Yeah,
So
for sure. I mean, people need it.
yeah.
100%.
But hey, if you guys ever need anything, I'm free advice guy on Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, everything. So if you ever need anything, or maybe more importantly, if you ever know somebody who needs help and they don't know where to go, I'm here. I'm a credentialed advisor, so a fiduciary advisor. So if they need help, I literally will do what's in their best interest.
I have one more question.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more of like a chicken and the egg type thing. Do you think that people in like the millennial and like Gen Z, do you think that they should pick up the tab on those homes? Do you think they really are worth what the boomers are selling them to? Or are we picking up the bags and it's just that one last thing that they can
This is a great question. No, this is a great question. If you're planning to sell the house in the next 5 to 10 years, no. If this is your forever home that you're gonna own for the next 30 years, I can't guarantee anything, but I would bet my life that 30 years from now, that house will be worth more than whatever you pay for it today.
So as that chapter closes with that side of the population, do you think that there'll be more homes that need to be lived in than not lived in? Or
Population-
do you think there'll be an excess of homes like what's happening in Japan?
It could definitely happen because our birth rates are incredibly low.
Yeah, so
So,
there'll be less people for those homes.
correct.
So do you think that there would be a deflation that would happen and we would be once again underwater on a lot of those mortgages?
It's definitely possible, but there's so many factors that would go into that happening. But it's absolutely a possible outcome. Absolutely.
Definitely a thought there that like, are we buying the top here?
But when, right? Because the boomers aren't going to fully die out for 30
Long time,
years, right? So
I mean, do they have 30 years left? We'll see.
some of them, the younger boomers maybe.
They have nice houses.
So it's just like do you want to wait to make these big financial decisions that long? Or do you want to do what you think is in your best interest now, right? Because if you're buying a home, you shouldn't just buy a home because it's the American dream or it's the next step or whatever.
Yeah.
You should buy a home because it makes sense to you, right? I want security. That's the place I want to live forever. Well, maybe not forever, right? But this is the place I want to live for the foreseeable future. It makes sense for me to buy. I'm going to buy, right? Not because it's the next step or anything like that. You just want to make sure the reasons are right.
Makes sense. Nice meeting you.
Yeah. Hey, great to meet you.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting us talk. I appreciate it. You want one? So there's 5 steps to financial success. Number 1, if you remember nothing else from this conversation, get a budget, like to the penny. If you can mark that down, figure out where you're wasting money and where you can be more efficient with money, and then work to do whatever you have to get a surplus at the end of every week or every month, however you like manage your money. And then from there, an emergency fund. So if you ever lose your job or something happens in your life, you got money sitting to the side. But then set a goal, like a real specific goal for your money with a time horizon, risk tolerance, and then you can invest towards that goal. But a lot of people try to jump to how do I invest to make money when they don't have a budget, they don't have an emergency fund, they don't have goals. So if you can, start with that budget. Your life will feel infinitely better if you know every month that like whatever you like to spend your money on, you've already set money aside for that, and it doesn't have to come out of savings, doesn't have to do anything, you just have it. So if you ever want to chat or anything, I'm free advice guy on Twitch, YouTube, anything like that. If you ever run into somebody who needs help, but yeah, free advice guy. I'm no strings attached. I have nothing to sell you. I have nothing. Yeah, good to meet you.
I'm Nova.
Nova, Luke.
Nice to meet
Luke,
you.
good to meet you.